the Luscious Vegan. I'm your hostess, Karen. Today, we're going to be creating one of the most essential ingredients in any vegan's kitchen, veggie broth. You'll use this tasty recipe to make stir fries, soups, stews, and sauces. Now, why don't you just buy it at the store, you might ask yourself? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One of which being, it can be very hard to find, particularly if you live in a rural environment. Secondly, when you do find it, it can be full of yucky ingredients, like MSG. So, let's get cooking, shall we? Hello and welcome back to the Luscious Vegan. I'm your hostess, Karen. Let's get started with that veggie broth. So, the ingredients that you'll need. About a tablespoon of olive oil, just enough to coat the pan. 1 large onion, chopped up into thick slices and then separated. Now I chose to use a purple onion today because I think it gives the soup a really beautiful color, but you can use yellow or white, it's really up to you. We've got 3 cloves of garlic, peeled and chopped, a big pinch of sea salt, 3 carrots, peeled and chopped, and 6 stalks of celery. Now the first thing we're going to do is put a little bit of this olive oil into the pan. Just drizzle enough to coat the pan. We're going to let that heat up for a second. And we're going to take our onions, pour them right in. And we're going to set this to about medium-low heat. Now I'm just going to stir these around and let them begin to turn to a light translucent shade. I just want to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't burn. Okay, and we'll let this go for about 10 minutes. Okay, and these onions smell fantastic. And you can see that they're beginning to look translucent, and that's how we know that they're ready. So the next thing we're going to do is add the garlic. Now the reason we add the garlic after the onions is that garlic tends to burn rather quickly. So we just want to saute it for a few moments to release the oils and really get that roasted garlic flavor. Just about a minute or two, and you'll want to keep stirring it to keep it from burning. That smells amazing. Okay, now I'm going to add the carrots as well. That looks beautiful. This is going to be a gorgeous soup. And if the onions burn a little bit, it's no big deal. They still taste great. Garlic, on the other hand, burned garlic doesn't taste so good. Okay. Now we're ready for the next step. Go. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and pour the celery in. Stir it around so it gets some of the flavoring from the other savory vegetables. And lastly, we're going to pour our water in. Now I'm using about 8 cups of water, but depending on how much soup you make and how strong you want our broth, you can use more or less. Perfect. So now we're just going to put the lid on and let it simmer about 40 minutes. And when we're through, we'll have a wonderful, flavorful broth that we can use for many different things. Okay, now our vegetable broth has a beautiful kind of golden brown color. So the next thing we're going to do is strain out some of these vegetables. Now, the recipe that I'm going to prepare next calls for carrots and onions. So rather than just tossing these out, I'm going to reserve some of them. And I'll do that by straining them here. Now, if you really hate to throw things away, you can keep all the vegetables, but I find that the celery is a little bit too soft and just doesn't taste very good after you've been boiling it for 30 minutes. Now, if you missed any part of this recipe, you can go to my MySpace page, which is myspace.com/The Luscious Vegan for a complete recipe. Okay, so there's our beautiful broth. I'm just going to throw out these celery and put these carrots and onions aside for our tortilla soup. And if you'd like to learn how to make that tortilla soup, you can go to the next webisode and join us for that. Thank you, and enjoy your vegetable broth.